Okay, everybody, as promised, how I install my solar panels. This is the first thing I did. I'm in my pump house, which is next to my house, and I'm doing this as a temporary setup just so I can get the solar panels on the house. Because if you want to use them as a tax write-off, they have to actually be installed and functioning. So I've put it off long enough, so I need to get them installed and get them hooked up. But took a 1x12, just screwed it to the wall. Took two grounding blocks, put them a good distance apart, mounted my grid tie inverters, and then I have an outlet right here, which is my my kilowatt meter with a three-prong adapter. So my my grid tie inverters will plug in there when I'm ready to get to that part. Okay, so that's what I've done on the inside, and like I said, absolutely nothing's hooked up. I don't even have a solar panel on the roof yet, but I'm fixing to climb up and install one, and I'll show you how I install my solar panels. Okay, so I'm on the roof with my first panel. The way I did this, and I sure hope you can see, I know the lighting's probably terrible, but I built a bracket and just screwed it to the side, and then screwed it to a 2x4 that I run along the roof of the pump house. We don't have a whole lot of high winds in my area. Every so often we do, but I've had them installed like this for about a year at my last house and never had the first problem. So that's how I do it, and then the wires run straight off the end, go back up underneath the ledge and into the pump house where they'll hook up into that junction block. Alright, so here I've got all the solar panels installed on the roof. I installed them all the same way I showed you how I did that first one. I had two wires that were already long enough from the previous install, just so I could test them. And so they run up through the eave, and then down here to these junction blocks, positive, negative. Then the positive cable goes to the positive terminal on the grid tie inverter, and then these are stacked. So I got positive to positive here and negative to negative on this wire, and then the negative terminal from this grid tie inverter goes to the negative junction block on this side. So I've only got two solar panels put up, and the sun has long since started waning, so we don't have a whole lot of sunlight. But I mean, with very little sunlight and two solar panels, it's enough to keep the grid tie inverters powered, or at least with the green lights. They're powered by the AC, but with the green lights, it means they are getting some kind of solar. Now you want to see them trickling, each one flashing, but it's probably not enough power to do that. Right now we are making 6.2, 6.4 watts, which is about half of what I need to power one of my compact fluorescent light bulbs. So, but like I said, late in the evening, you can't really expect to get a whole lot out of your solar. So I'm going to finish up tomorrow, extend all the wires, get it up run all nice and neat the way it's supposed to be, and then my grid tie system will be up and running. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Okay, phase one of my solar install is complete. I've got all 5 solar panels on the roof, and they run in up under the eave. There's one, and there's one, and there's one, and there's one, and there's one. So they all 5 come in, and then they run to that junction block right there. From there, positive to positive, negative to negative on my grid tie inverters, and my grid tie inverters go to my kilowatt meter. I used all 10 gauge wire from the solar panels to the junction block. The solar panels come with 12 gauge wire, so I just stepped it up one size, and no further than I'm running it. I think the longest run I have is 6 feet long, maybe 8 feet. The 10 gauge wire should do fine, and then from there, when they come off the junction block, these are number six wires that go to the grid tie inverters. And then on the grid tie inverter, I've got those jumpered off with a number 4 wire, and that's just because I happen to have some. I think probably no further than that run is you could get away with 8 gauge, but I just happen to have 4, so that's what I used. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell for the grid tie system. And again, this is just a grid tie system. So phase 2 will be the actual solar backup, where I use the Xantrex C40 charge controller that I have, and then I've got 2 big inverters, and I'll wire all that up. The 2 inverters have automatic transfer switches, so we'll get all that hooked up. And of course, I've got to run, I've got to pipe all this solar power to the house before I can do that. But this gets it set up for now, so I can use this as the tax write-off, and you know, it's just equipment that's sitting here, so may as well put it to good use. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'll do the best I can to answer. I'm probably a novice at best at this, but I'm learning, so I'll help you out where I can. So hope everybody has a good day, and I will talk to y'all later. Okay, I just realized I didn't show y'all all the solar panels when they're installed. So here's the view from outside. They're all 5 of them. They're all 5 80-watt monocrystalline panels, and they're all tied in together where you just saw. So anyway, that's phase 1. Hopefully get some money put back, and phase 2 will be coming soon. I will talk to y'all later.